It's time for a new Browns starting quarterback, and no, it is not Shedeur Sanders. It's Dillon Gabriel, which isn't actually a surprise. Joe Flacco hasn't played well as the starter, and the Browns did draft two rookie quarterbacks who they obviously would like to see in a real game situation. Deshaun Watson is on the roster but may never play again, so there is a need at QB, and hopefully either Gabriel or Shedeur can be the answer to that. But yes, right now, it makes more sense to start Gabriel. It isn't some conspiracy against Shedeur Sanders. He got passed over by every single NFL team, and we know that he even asked the Ravens to not draft him, a team that is now starting Cooper Rush because of an injury to Lamar Jackson. Fair to assume that Shedeur could be the starting guy for a few weeks and learning under a two-time NFL MVP in Baltimore, but nope. Gabriel had a successful college career where he gained a lot of experience at 3 schools in 6 seasons. He got drafted in the 3rd round before Shedeur and has been taking the backup snaps behind Flacco. What is interesting is that Shedeur Sanders isn't getting bumped up to backup quarterback. Flacco is going to be the backup. It's very different than from when the Giants benched Russell Wilson and he got moved to the 3rd string quarterback behind Jameis Winston in addition to Jackson Dart. It's something a lot of people I've already seen are making a big deal out of, but I do think it's nothing. See, if Jackson Dart were to get hurt in a game, it's fair to assume that Jameis could come in, play well enough, and command the offense. The Browns may just not want to throw Shedeur out there during a game for his first ever action. Not to mention, Flacco's definitely better suited to come into a game where he hasn't gotten all the reps and been treated as a QB1 in preparation. There are also some issues with Shedeur and the clown show that has gone in Cleveland because, for one, it's Cleveland, but 2, now you bring in Shedeur Sanders. And more than anything, having him around just causes way too much attention around the team and the quarterback room. And it's probably made the life a little more complicated for the other QBs like Gabriel. I've said it before, but it's kind of the same way guys like Colin Kaepernick or Tim Tebow, I really thought they would never get another fair shot. That was because neither one of them were surefire starting level NFL quarterbacks anymore, but they were huge names that either 1, fans would want them to start over whoever the actual starter was, or 2, the media attention around them was going to be so much that it just wouldn't be worth signing them. It sucks, and it may suck even more in the future for Shedeur and trying to find another team if he ever needs to, but that's kind of just part of how the NFL works. There are plenty of concerns about Shedeur, and he just hasn't helped his case. After Gabriel got named the starter, Shedeur was mouthing his answers to the media like a mime.
3rd quarterback.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that made him drop in the draft outside of honestly just not having the same talent as some of the top other guys. It's extra attention, it's dumb, and it's childish. The Browns knew what kind of media mess they were getting into when they drafted Shedeur Sanders. They still drafted him, but with the distractions and even just the play on the field alone, there's a reason Dillon Gabriel is the starter now and not Shedeur. Dillon Gabriel really didn't have to wait very long to get a shot this season. Remember, the Browns are the team that had an insane quarterback room during the preseason. There were 6 QBs on the roster. Deshaun Watson technically counts, but he did tear his Achilles in week 7 last year and then re-ruptured it in January, so that'll keep him out. I wouldn't be surprised if he never plays again for the Browns, maybe for any team again for that matter. Past Deshaun, there were still 5 guys. Flacco got signed to a 1-year deal and already had some previous experience playing for Kevin Stefanski with starting 5 games to the Browns in 2023. They also traded for Kenny Pickett, sending Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Eagles before the draft. They then traded Pickett away to the Raiders. Tyler Huntley got signed in August because of some injuries and was released a few weeks later. That's 4. That leaves 2 more quarterbacks, the 2025 draft picks, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. It's not unheard of for a team to draft 2 quarterbacks in the same draft, but it is pretty rare. The Browns took Gabriel in the 3rd round and then turned around and took Shedeur in the 5th. It does make sense to a degree. Shedeur was supposed to be a higher pick from what the media was saying, and he did help rebuild a Colorado team that was previously a very bad program. Then there's Gabriel, who I think is an ideal rookie quarterback if you need a guy to start. I could be wrong, but a guy with a ton of experience starting is ideal if a rookie has to step in year 1. Gabriel started 63 games in college. That is the most in NCAA history. That is ideal. He even started 12 games as a true freshman. It is not like he was ever just sitting on the bench. He was at UCF for 3 seasons and then transferred in 2021 after he broke his clavicle, transferred to Oklahoma and was there for 2 seasons. By the way, what a run OU is on at quarterback, by the way. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams, and now Dillon Gabriel all starting. I mean, that is one heck of a run. Of course, Gabriel didn't finish his time there, just like Rattler and Caleb. Gabriel ended up transferring to Oregon for his final season of eligibility and had 30 touchdowns to 4 picks, the same passing line he had in 23 at OU. He had 188 total touchdowns in college. I mean, the dude got a ton of experience. It seems fair to think that he's more equipped to start for the Browns and command the offense than Shedeur Sanders would be at this point. For starters, there is a reason Gabriel was drafted before him. People can complain all they want about Shedeur not getting the same chance for the job, but that is not how it works. That's never how it works. Did Joe Milton have the same chance to win the Pats job as Drake May last year? No. I mean, that's just stupid. Draft spot matters, and by Cleveland taking Gabriel first, it sent a clear message. Shedeur also only played 2 years at a power conference program. Gabriel was more used to playing tougher NFL-style defenses. That being said, Shedeur did have a lot of success. I'd argue not to the level of Gabriel, but he was good, changed the narrative at Colorado, which is a hard thing to do. After 2 seasons starting at Jackson State at the FCS level, where his dad, Dillon Sanders, was his coach, Dillon then got the job at Colorado. Shedeur came along with a handful of players like Heisman winner Travis Hunter. The first year at Colorado, there was a lot of attention on Shedeur and the whole program, but it didn't equate to success. Just a big win over TCU and then everything fell apart. However, last year it did have a lot of success. Shedeur had 37 touchdowns to 10 interceptions passing, pretty good season. At the end of the day, Gabriel just still makes more sense. The Browns thought he was the better option at the draft. If the Browns liked Shedeur more, he would have been picked in the 3rd round. It is that simple. I do also think, with how bad the Browns offensive line is, that Gabriel's probably better suited right now. It's no secret that Joe Flacco's a statue in the pocket, but Shedeur isn't exactly mobile at all. In his 2 seasons at the FBS level, he had 8 rushing touchdowns. Over that span, Gabriel had 19. They're different players. If anything, it makes more sense that the Browns drafted both of them because that's the case. Whether it was Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders getting the call to take over as the starter for the Browns, one thing is pretty obvious. There needed to be some kind of change. Not only is Joe Flacco clearly not the future, he also hasn't been very good. If anyone expected Joe Flacco to be the Browns starter this whole year, you might be insane. He's 40 years old. Any season could be his final in the pros. I'm actually surprised he's still kicking it, but it makes a lot of sense for him to be the bridge for the Browns. Remember, he basically came off the couch in 2023 when Deshaun Watson got hurt. Flacco ended up going 4-1 starting. He threw for 13 touchdowns to 8 picks, so it's not exactly like his numbers were popping off the page, but he was good enough to win, and he got Cleveland into the playoffs. Flacco started a playoff game for the first time since 2015 when he was with the Ravens, but the Browns ended up getting blown out versus the Texans in the wild card. After 1 season with the Colts, he landed back with the Browns on a $4 million contract. He was the clear starter for week 1, and then everything didn't exactly go to plan, I'm sure, as he hoped. Flacco got benched after a 1-3 start to the season for the Browns. He ended up passing for just 2 touchdowns with 6 interceptions. Safe to say that is not enough to keep your job. It did feel like Cleveland probably deserved to win in week 1. I mean, it was at home against the Bengals. Obviously, this was before Joe Burrow got hurt. The Browns defense stopped Burrow and that Avengers offense, but the Browns just couldn't move the ball either. It really came down to special teams. The Browns scored to take the lead on the first drive of the second half, but kicker Andre Schmidt missed the extra point. Then, with 2:25 remaining, down 1, Schmidt missed a 36-yard field goal. The Browns lost 17-16, and that's a pretty painful loss when you think about it. The next week was a little more straightforward against the Ravens. Baltimore's good, Lamar Jackson was healthy, and the Browns had to go on the road. You know where this is going. Lamar threw for 4 touchdowns. It wasn't close. Ravens take it 41-17. Now, the shocking win for Cleveland was week 3 hosting the Packers. Green Bay had beaten the Lions and Commanders to start the season, 2 of the best teams from last season. There was a genuine wonder of who even had a chance to beat Green Bay at that point. Turns out it was Cleveland. Talk about a defensive slugfest. The Browns scored with 3:01 left to tie the game at 10, but the Packers still had a chance to win it. A 43-yard field goal with 27 seconds remaining was blocked. The Browns get it back, and 2 weeks after he blew it late, Schmidt hit a 55-yarder to win it. That was a crazy game. I still can't believe the Browns won. Last week was it for Joe Flacco, which is fair. The Lions are good. It was in Detroit, but he was a big part of the problem. 2 picks, no touchdowns. The Browns got crushed 34-10, and Flacco got benched for Gabriel on the final drive. He threw just a single incomplete pass past, but now he's going to have plenty of opportunity of play time. Starting Dillon Gabriel is a very necessary move for the Browns' future. I don't know if he has what it takes to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, but I can tell you that starting a 40-year-old Joe Flacco does no good. And guess what? If Dillon Gabriel isn't the guy, well, then it's time to give Shedeur a chance and see what happens.